else around. When I'm with you, baby, nothing really matters. So like think about, baby, there's no.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Normies Podcast, your home for all the video game news that you need to know. My name is Javier, and alongside me is my co-host, Kristian Diaz. Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing good. We got a new setup going on. Pretty excited to get recording.
Yeah, man. Just a little house cleaning for you. We're actually going to be doing this live I believe next week. When we do it, we've been in the background doing a good amount of work on our end, trying to see if we can get this thing as a live stream. We're going to be doing it. That is the plan. We just couldn't get it up and running this time around. So we're setting up our own green screens, getting everything ready. And obviously, let us know how it looks on your end. See if you like it. But apart from that,
yeah, please do. The feedback is much appreciated.
Yeah, whether it's negative, positive, honestly, whatever it is, it's super helpful for us. So let us know in the comments whether or not you like it or not. But with that, let's jump in right into the news today. And the big one for today is going to be this article that I had read about Shawn Layden and how there's a collapse in creativity in the game industry today. And that's primarily with the idea that there's so many remakes and remasters that are going on that people are just not happy with the direction that these companies are going. They basically want to cash grab instead of going in and doing something a little bit more creative, a little bit more daring. Personally, I'm in the boat that I actually really, for example. Resident Evil 4 Remake, unbelievable game. I love it. It's fantastic. I loved it. I completed it to its absolute completion, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a fan of having original IPs and going with a creative route because, if you keep on playing the same games over and over again, it's going to get stale regardless of what kind of skin you end up putting on it. Chris, what's your take on it? What do you think?
I feel like it's so funny because when I read this article and you were telling me about it, the first thing that came to mind was the fact that we're getting a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn. For a game that came out, for a game that does not need a remaster. I mean, the game looks incredible on PS4, but yet we're getting a remaster, and who's not to say I am gonna get it? But
yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
no, but like if you look at the side by sides, there are differences per se.
No, of course. But it's like, do you really think that we needed that? Like, don't you think that time and money should have been spent on like a newer IP or a better IP or something new or different? You know what I mean?
No. Just imagine they could have they remastered an entire game. With that remaster, they could have remastered Bloodborne. Just imagine, Chris. Just imagine getting Bloodborne in a beautiful 60 frame per second.
I don't know if you saw, but it was so funny. In the latest PlayStation State of Play, like, I'm pretty sure, like, let me see if I can find it. One of the top comments in the latest State of Play was, by the way, there's no Bloodborne remake. So, like, it was the top comment, like, in the newest State of Play. Like, I just think
it's just so annoying. Like it doesn't make sense. Like for example, what game if they're gonna go for like a remake or remaster, how old should the game be? That was a comment that I read.
Look, these comments go exactly. Okay, so I'm reading the comments right now on the State of Play from September 24th, and the top one is super funny. This is a disgraceful Sony. Where's Concord 30-day anniversary edition? And then it's like it's my IP to sit on and to do nothing with. Guys, Bloodborne will never happen. Bloodborne Remaster will remain as one of the biggest mysteries of gaming history. We heard you want to play Bloodborne at 60 FPS. Here's a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn. You know what I mean? So It's just like, I mean, they're talking exactly like on basis of what we're talking about right now. But I want to look at some of the comments on this Twitter post about this collapse of creativity. I think it is an interesting topic.
This one's a really interesting one. I actually really like this one. it's from Kyle Phillips. You can read it right here. KPX creates. Too many games these days feel soulless and uninspired. A lot of remakes and remasters, reskins and watered down sequels, live service money cash slop.
Games
The list goes on and on. Basically, people are unhappy. Like they're not happy with the fact that these companies are going with live service games. Like they're reskinning whatever they have and remaking and remastering what they got instead of going into like something that's a brand new IP, which is why a lot of these, like for example, a lot of these Chinese developers are really killing it with like Stellar Blade, this new game that just dropped, the trailer for
I'm
Wuchang.
sorry, can you
We'll talk
remind
more
me
about it later.
what is a AA game?
A AA game is like basically, in my opinion, a AAA game without the funding. It's like it's particularly indie, but it's also not like a AAA title like that has like SIE like in the background with like a boatload of money being thrown at it for marketing and all this other crap that
So Google says here
that's
AA games are mid-market video games that are developed by medium-sized teams and offer quality experience that's a step above indie games, but not as high as AAA blockbusters. AA games are often developed outside the large studios of major developers and may be created by larger teams of indie developers. Yeah.
Yes. So like for example, I would consider this, well, when it first came out, I would consider this a AA game. Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom is like AA. Like it's like even has that energy like a AA game. It's not. It doesn't feel like a AAA game.
I mean, isn't Baldur's Gate considered a AA game then?
No,
that's AAA
because they got money. Yeah.
Larian Studios got money.
They got money.
Because I'm just thinking like Larian Studios versus like Microsoft Studios or Bethesda.
Oh no! Oh my God, that's like stupid money. That's like the dumbest money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, aren't the lines a little blurred at this point? Like,
yes, but I think it's a little bit more like you'll know. Like, there's studios that for a fact have the money. Like Sony Interactive Entertainment has the money. Like that's why every time a Spider-Man game comes out, it's blowing up charts because not only because they got the name for it, they have Spider-Man. I mean, everyone loves Spider-Man. I don't care who you are. You're a liar if you don't. But it's the company that's backing them. Bethesda those companies have humongous amounts of capital behind them that are being able to funnel a good amount of marketing. But the big problem with that is that they're like, because they're putting so much funding into these games, there's not an opportunity for these developers to like they don't have an opportunity to be creative. They're like, yo, we're throwing all this money at this game. We're not going to play games with this. We're going to do what's safe, and that's it. Like, I wash my hands of this crap. No way. And I think that's a humongous missed opportunity. I feel like back in the day they did a lot more. They were a lot more daring. People like gave a crap about what it's like. If it works, if it doesn't work, they love what they did. They knew they had the passion behind it, and they just went for it. And I feel like a lot of these companies now, like, well, you know what it is that I feel like there's some games that shouldn't have been that successful that blew up. They absolutely blew up, especially this year. They blew up. Like Space Marines 2. What in God's creation? We'll talk about it later, but
we can go directly into Space Marine 2 now.
Sure.
That's the next segue.
So one of the big actually two big things happened this week, which I'm a little bit of good news. Space Marines 2 just sold 4 million units in the past month, which is fantastic for them. Clap, clap, clap. Honestly, I personally did not expect them to do that well. I was like, Space Marines, it's like Warhammer. It's like, how many Warhammer fans could there be? And then you see Henry Cavill like apparently they're doing a show. I think they're doing a show, and he's going to be one of the big main actors. And apparently he's a huge Warhammer 40K fan. I'm like, oh my god! And then they brought, just because of that, like it brought in all these slew of people that that love these games, that love these games.
Warhammer 40K has always been always had a big community, but it's always been spread out through different areas, right? Like I've always known the Warhammer crew as the figurines, because going to like card shops and game stores, you always see like the miniatures and like the paint that they use to like paint their miniatures and whatnot. And I've always been exposed to that side, but I've never played any of the Warhammer games, and I've never read any of the Warhammer books. And I know that the Warhammer 40K series is like a big collaboration series where it has multiple authors. So it's, in a way, it's like the old legacy books for Star Wars. How the old Star Wars books had like a collection of authors that all pitched in to write for the series. Warhammer 40K has like dedicated authors that all write for the series as well. Their own like complete storylines for different series.
Actually that, when you brought up the figurines, it was interesting because, when I think of like figurines playing on a board game, like on a board, like I didn't think, because a lot of people think D&D first, but actually my first actual interaction with something like that was one of my really good friends who had a humongous collection of Warhammer 40K, and I just looked at them and they're painstakingly like painted. Everything is very detailed.
It is very detailed.
These people are dedicated, huge, humongous following. I'm actually looking at a comment right now. It's Warhammer. It has a huge worldwide following. It arguably could be Game of the Year winner. I don't know if it's gonna win Game of the Year. Personally, have
you played it?
I have not played it, and
I have not played it either.
So there are a couple of games that came out just recently that I did buy. One of them was Atlas's new game. Metaphor.
You bought it? You have it?
Of course I did. Are you kidding me? No. You want to talk about a game that's Game of the Year, guys?
Dude,
at first it was Astrobot. At first it was Astrobot for me. I want Astrobot to get even, like, first off, if Astrobot isn't even in the Game of the Year conversation, I'm gonna be pissed off, because that game is unbelievable. It is fantastic. I have yet to fully complete it, and they actually just added in a new feature for speedrunners, and it looks super cool. I'll actually link to probably one of IGN's videos in the comments. And I actually, I'll have a video up about it this coming week, and I'll probably put it in the iCard in the top right or the top left. But honestly, Metaphor has such good. Chris, you have to get it. Chris, I don't know which.
I'm currently debating between.
No, Chris, listen. You are one of the biggest Atlas fans I know. You have to get this freaking game.
Yeah, I'm currently stuck in between getting a Metaphor, Sparking Zero, and Warhammer. I want to get all three, to be honest. But
yeah, which also segues into the next thing that we're talking about, which is that Sparking Zero sold 3 million copies in a single day.
Yeah.
The DBZ fans came out of the woodwork with this, bro. This is, and it didn't do that well. Like, it's not that it didn't do that well as far as reviews go. They just weren't like glowing, like how some other games are. Like, they're good, but they're not like fantastic. Like, they were solid. I was pretty content with them. Like, and some people were like, oh, like a lot of these, like the people that you end up fighting, they're unbalanced. Like, it's not like it's very difficult for people. Some people may not want.
Yo, IGN gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, it was okay, but it wasn't great. Like, I wasn't like blown away by the reviews that were put out. I think even Super Mario Party Jamboree did better than Sparking Zero, which is
Damn,
kind
a
of nuts,
peak
honestly.
player count of 122,000 people. Yo, having a peak player count for a fighting game being over 100,000
Crazy.
is
It's
huge.
It's freaking nuts.
No,
It's huge.
huge. Because fighting games do not get big. They have fighting games have not been big, bro, since fucking Super Nintendo, like PlayStation 1 era, man. Like fighting games, they've always been like the niche genre for video games.
Yeah, actually, here's a good comment from SJ Foster. For an anime IP, how does sales of this compare to day one sales like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Like, honest to goodness, like these sales are nuts. Like for a fighting game, for an anime game.
Yeah, but you
like,
also have to take in the fact that this is like people's nostalgia kicking in. Like, I mean, people grew up with Budokai Tenkaichi, so it's like, I mean, you and I both. You and I both grew up with that. It's like, you know, who's not to say everyone else our age who knows anything about Dragon Ball Z grew up playing a Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
Oh yeah,
you know,
100%. Like I think one of my really good.
I like that this comment by TS Demo just says 7. I think that. I think that's in accordance to IGN score, maybe. But I just like it's just.
No,
7.
it is. It's in relation to that score that IGN gave it. It's like, bro, a 7? Like I don't know. And actually, you read articles now that like if you go onto IGN, they have articles talking about like, oh, if you can't beat a certain boss, here's how you beat it. I was like, oh, but one of them really pissed people off. I was like, I don't think people are gonna fly with that. Is basically it's like, oh, if you can't beat this boss, don't feel bad if you have to lower the difficulty. I'm like, you can go and suck one. If you think that any person is going to actually lower the difficulty for a Dragon Ball game, you are out of your mind.
No, I've been watching a lot of videos of people playing it. Yeah, it does look quite intense. I've actually been watching a few people playing ranked, and people are already so sweaty at the game. People are bringing in their freaking from 20 years ago. They're bringing in their experience from 20 years ago into this game and wrecking kids that are buying the game for the first time.
That's it, bro. You gotta put these kids in their place. You gotta put them in their place real quick early on. You know, it's like these guys that play this game, they're real gamers. They're real people, bro. They're like they don't play around. Like they're sweaty.
Yeah,
it's kind of nuts. Okay, so the next topic that we're gonna talk about is actually one that is a hot take about the Nintendo Switch. So we're coming up on the holiday season. Right now it's October 21st. Halloween's right there. Thanksgiving's right there. Christmas is coming around the corner. When do you think the new Nintendo Switch 2, which honestly, I think if they don't call it the Super Nintendo Switch, I think it's a missed opportunity. When is it coming out?
About that. It needs to be called the Super Nintendo Switch.
Dude, it's
come on,
like
the Super
perfect.
Switch?
It is
the
so,
Super Switch.
The Super Switch? No, I can't do Super Switch. I can't do Super Switch, but I'm telling you, the Super Nintendo Switch, it is a perfect way to put that in. Chris, when do you think that we're gonna get it? When do you think? Are we getting it this year?
This year, no. No, we're at the end of the year already, Javi.
No. Are we getting an announcement for it this year?
You know, are there any more Nintendo like directs or anything? No, right? There's no like mini directs or anything like that this year. Then no. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think we get like a direct of it next year, and then holiday season 2025 we get it.
Bro, I feel like they missed out, dude.
Because Switch came out in a holiday season, right?
Yeah, it came out during the holiday season, but I feel like they announced it.
Oh no,
I think
March
they announced
3rd.
It.
March 3rd.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Wii U came out November 18th. The Wii came out November 19th. So the Wii U and the Wii both came out holiday season, but for some reason the Switch was like Q1, the end of Q1. So maybe it gets announced. I think it gets announced summer or so like Q2, quarter 2 or quarter 4, and then it'll come out 2026 like quarter 1. Or if we get it early,
Oh
I'd say
wow.
quarter 4 like holiday season 2025.
2020.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
release window
2025.
is holiday season 2025 to the first quarter of 2026. Yeah,
With
definitely.
the announcement happening,
Because like what
you,
leaks do we have so far? Like
bro, they have a bunch of patents out right now. Like they're pretty certain that that the Nintendo Switch 2 is gonna be like the Joy-Cons are gonna be magnetic, so they'll just connect, just like the Lenovo Legion Go. Oh,
mhm.
they're magnetic, right? I think they're magnetic. I want to say they are. I'm gonna say they are. I'm almost certain they are. That you basically connect them that way. Um, and I think it's probably gonna be a little bit. Honestly, I like the size of it. It might be nicer if it's a little bit bigger. I don't want it to be as big as the um what's it called? Uh I don't want it to be as big as a Steam Deck,
Mhm.
but I want it to be a little bit bigger. I want it to be a little bit more ergonomic. Like I feel like in the hand where you don't play with anything, I at least use a crack controller. You just you hold on to it with nothing on it. Like
Yeah, I just play the
no
Switch. I just play the Switch
bro,
handheld.
bro, I think you're the only person I know that actually still has that just uses
Stock
like that. Honest to
stock
goodness. Like
Joy-Cons, really?
yeah, just stock Joy-Cons. In the comments, who still
Yo,
actually there we go.
shout out to those
That's
Joy-Con boys. Joy-Con boys.
yeah, I'm about to say it's like that. That's like that's the actual hot tech. Who actually still uses their Joy Cons? That's real. If you do, you're a real one. Because
Nah,
honest
bro.
to God, I don't know who really does.
I play Smash Ultimate with Joy-Cons as a handicap to my opponents.
Oh my God! You know when I went over, I was like, I think that's what ended up happening last time. No, you have enough controllers at your
No,
crib.
I have a ton, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm about to say you actually still you had plenty of controllers. I'm like, I don't think you did though. It's like
No, I
because I
didn't.
was playing and I'm like, it's like Chris, I swear, if you handicap yourself like that and you won, I'd be so mad at you. I'd be so mad. You had
I don't,
all of us out there salty, bro.
I'm not sure who told me. I have a friend who told me that I think that there was some type of leaker announcement that the Switch 2 would be announcing with the latest iteration of Pokemon. I could
Mhm.
be completely making that up. I mean, who knows? Everything's a rumor right now.
Yeah,
Nothing's been like specifically, but I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be also cool if we got a Zelda release with the Switch 2. But I don't think
I
that'll happen.
I
I think it's more plausible if we get
I don't think it'll
A
happen.
Mario release.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time since Super Mario Odyssey came out.
Yeah.
That I think it would be really nice to get a Super Mario Odyssey 2. I think I might get roasted in the comments for this because I the last time I brought up Super Mario Odyssey as like one of my top Switch games, they were like, "You're a freaking loser," um, and I'm like, "Okay,
Platform
tell me
nerd.
I'm wrong." It's like, tell me I'm wrong. It's one of the best 3D like Mario games I've ever played, bro. It like iterates on Super Mario Party. Sorry, it iterates on Super Mario 64 in every single way and makes it better. I, the bajillion amount of worlds that you're in. I was like, bro, I played that game to its absolute completion too. That game was unbelievable. But like, I don't know. I think it still has. I think it's definitely, in my opinion, I think you're right. I think uh, that they'll probably go the Mario game out with
Yeah, so
the
Odyssey was
new
the
Nintendo
last
Switch.
3D Mario, yeah?
Yeah,
Wonder was the last like main title, but that's a 2D title.
that's a 2D title. So they're not gonna do
Yeah,
a 2D title. They're
they're
not gonna do
definitely
a Zelda
due. They're
game.
definitely due for another Mario 3D title. It's been 7 years now. It came out
Yeah, it's
October
been a long time.
27th, basically like 4 or 5 months after the I'm sorry, like 6 or 7 months after the Switch release.
Dude, that was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah.
That was a long ass time ago.
Dude,
Wow.
the Switch came out a while ago, man.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. It's been 8 years. It's been 8 years since.
We're definitely due.
Well, and for example, like I was just playing. So, one of the games that I bought this week was because I have a nephew that's like a year and a half, like 2 years old, and he loves Ninja Turtles, and so I showed him the newest Ninja Turtle movie, and they just came out with TMNT Mutants Unleashed. I think that's what it is. Which is like it's basically a sequel to the newest TMNT movie, and it chugs, my guy. It chugs on the Nintendo Switch, bro. And I'm like, I feel like with a new Switch, with new hardware, it could be so much better, dude. Like the actual experience could be so much better. And also better be backwards compatible, because if it's not, we're all. I wash my hands of this crap. Forget it. I'm gonna be so hot if it's not backwards compatible. I don't even know what to tell you. Like if it's not, like if you can at least put your Nintendo Switch games into a Switch 2.
I'm looking at some of this footage now. This game lags on Switch. Actually,
yeah,
you know what? I
can
kind of tell. Because it does look pretty good. Because the art style.
Yeah, dude, the art style is so cool. Like it was so cool to play a little bit of it. Actually, I was playing it with my wife, and she was playing it, and she was actually really good at it. You get to change, like you basically every single like time you're like you see it really prominently when you're going from place to place. Like things are really slow. It's probably not even running. It's probably running at like 28 frames a second. Like you can tell. Like it's like when there's a lot of stuff on screen, it chugs. It's tough, man. And I was like, bro, it's like that's why I've been buying so many games.
This game reminds me of the old Shrek games. Do you remember the old Shrek beat 'em up games on like GameCube and shit like that?
Yeah, but I like those games.
No,
dude.
Those games are awesome. Those games were great. But that's what this reminds me of. Just like a 4-player beat 'em up type of experience. Action game, yeah. I used to love those games.
So yeah, I think they're really overdue. Probably, but I actually agree with you. Probably best bet is that we get an announcement next year, and then at the most,
because here's the thing: there's going to be more and more leaks and more rumors leading up to like what will be the next Nintendo Direct. The next
probably in February or March. They're not gonna do it in January. There's no way they're gonna do it in January. I mean, granted, Nintendo does whatever they want to do, but more than likely, it'll probably end up being sometime in February or March. That's my take on it.
Okay, so
I think that's
Google AI is telling me Nintendo has not officially announced a Nintendo Direct for 2025, but the next gen Switch 2 console is expected to be revealed before April 2025. Some Nintendo insiders are predicting that Nintendo Direct will be held around. Yeah, okay, that one already happened.
I believe it.
Yeah, so you said like February. Yeah, definitely quarter one next year. I was saying quarter two next year we get the announcement, but I can see it happening quarter one.
And I think they can get production really quickly. I think they can ramp up production fairly quickly. April. So I think.
Oh, April is like quarter February, 2 anyways. Yeah.
I think February. And then either they release it like a year after, like in March, like they did with the last Nintendo or the Nintendo Switch, or they go with they release it in November, like at the end of November, like right before Black Friday, so that everyone's already buying stuff. They go all out. Because you also have to remember that the PS5 comes out now, like in November. Yeah. Or the PS5 Pro comes out in November. I think they're gonna give themselves plenty of time to just they only got a couple more months. That's probably what they're thinking. Is like they got a couple more months. Let's do this correctly. Let's plan this out.
And they're doing it right because we just got major releases of all the biggest Nintendo titles. Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and then Metroid Prime 4. We got Metroid, Mario, and Zelda, all of them.
What they're probably doing now is they're probably getting because they have to make deals with a bunch of companies, to get to get their to get the chips in, to get all of the hardware stuff situated. And then once all the deals are written out, they're like, okay, we're going to get our chips from here. We're going to get like our motherboards from here, whatever, blah blah blah. All the components are all set up. They manufacture everything. You know, they're probably hammering out all those details right now. So that by February, March, they're let's make the announcement. They probably, you know, if they're not already planning out an idea for marketing to do the whole reveal, they're way behind the ball. If they haven't already started doing something like that, they're way behind the ball. I'm calling you out right now, Nintendo. Start getting this stuff worked out. Okay, so next piece of news. So Bandai Namco has been in the news a lot recently. They've been it's a lot of negative stuff. Actually, I have a short. I'm gonna put it up in the iCard here. Basically talking about how they've been sending staff into expulsion rooms because they've been canceling a couple of really big games. One that was a Naruto game, and one that was a where is it?
A Nintendo project.
Yeah. So they dropped the ball on a couple of things over there. But taking that into account, they did talk about that there's a Death Note game that's been rated for PS4 and PS5 with Bandai Namco as the publisher. Chris, have you ever watched have you watched Death Note?
Of course.
You know, you and I both were probably one of the biggest anime nerds imaginable.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I was watching Death Note like week by week as it was coming out, and like
dude,
like fifth,
honestly,
fifth or sixth grade.
I have to go back and rewatch them because they were fantastic.
It's so epic. It's
what do
so
you
awesome.
think? Dude, it's so intense and it's so dark. Like it is so dark. I love that.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic.
I mean, the ending was a little whack, but it's still the original story up until like the storyline with L. Once that happens, like it's so good, so good. It's the best drama fucking anime.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, dude, it's crazy. Like it's nuts. But I wonder how that translates into an actual video game. Like, does that make it for a good video game or no?
If it's a fighting game, that's gonna be really funny to be honest.
Well, no.
They fight with their Shinigami or like I don't know how they would fight, but
I don't know why, but when you said fighting game, I thought like Capcom style fighting game where it's 2D and they're doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know. Hey, I don't
PlayStation
know
4, PlayStation 5. So it's not gonna be it's not gonna be like a 2D like low graphics. It's gonna be like a high quality game.
Yeah.
It'll be a tennis game or a dating sim if they're feeling spicy, another Jump Force style fighter. I'm just reading the comments on the tweet.
Yeah, I just saw it too.
Honestly, a dating sim makes like more sense than a fighting game, to be honest. But
honestly, yes. Honestly, I agree with you. But it would be so funny. It was like, dude, a dating sim.
Oh, this guy said it's gonna be a choose your own adventure visual novel. I can see that happening, but like a full title Death Note game being a visual novel, that's kind of like I don't know. Like when I think visual novel, I think of like cheap Steam greenlit games. You know, like nothing to them, but like a visual novel being like a full PlayStation release. The last thing I can think of is Doki Doki Literature Club or something like that. You know.
No, but that one's like kind of like out there.
Yeah,
and it actually did really well too.
No, I know. But I'm saying, do you expect Death Note to be something like that?
You know,
text based like that.
I could see it because it is a drama, so I do see it. I could see having like making decisions based on like what's going on and like some things that are like tied to like the actual story to the actual anime, but then like have like certain things like if in game that like you make decisions and then it has ramifications later on. Maybe you kill off somebody, like you put them in the Death Note and then they end up dying and that has ramifications later on. It can kind of sway you in certain directions. Maybe have like
there was a Death Note game for the DS. Let me look at some of this footage real quick just to see what it was like.
I've never checked it out. I've never seen it.
I think it's Japanese only.
As you talk, as you find the video for it, I actually am gonna talk about that. I just started replaying Coffee Talk because I was talking about visual novels and I was like, dang, bro, this is so good. Like if the writing is really good, games can be so great, bro. It's unbelievable.
Just so you know, the DS game is a visual novel. So
it is?
Yeah. And then it has so it has a kind of like the actual gameplay of it looks kind of like what's this series, the judge one, the attorney,
Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney.
I literally was just thinking about this. I was like, oh, it's like it'd be really cool if it's kind of like Ace Attorney.
It definitely looks like that. Yeah. Well, at least this DS title, that's what it kind of looks like. You kind of trust or doubt them, and you kind of choose like who you decide to trust and whatnot. Or and then it's like
I'm kind of on board with that.
Your influence on people is what it looks like.
I'm kind of on board with that. You know what? I think I'm okay with that.
Nah, like, man, I want to fight a game. I want to see L drop kick light.
Oh man. Oh my god. But yeah, I think it does have potential. Honestly, we won't know. I mean, it's been rated, so I don't even know how far in development this game's been in. Like, I have no idea. Like, if a game has just been rated, do you think they're almost out of development? Like, or are they actually like pretty? Do you think they still have a long ways to go for this game?
It's been rated.
I have no idea.
In Taiwan. What the hell does that mean? It was rated.
I have no idea.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's all speculation. All speculation at this point. Maybe it's gonna, maybe it ends up being good. Maybe not. We'll keep an eye out for this game. But with that, we actually we'll jump right into we'll hop out of the news and we'll actually talk about the Xbox Partner Showcase.
Okay.
The Xbox Partner Preview.
Wait, before we do that, there was one piece of news here I want to talk about just because.
Sure.
I saw this that Sony reportedly tried to stop Crimson Desert from launching on Xbox.
Oh yeah, that was huge, dude.
That one is one of the ones you sent me that I was interested in. Just because everything Crimson Desert for the last 3 or 4 years I've been very paying close attention to. And I thought this was interesting.
This was a big deal.
So Pearl Abyss reportedly offered a PS5 limited time exclusivity deal for Crimson Desert. This deal would have prevented the game from launching on Xbox for an unknown amount of time, but Pearl Abyss declined the offer as it believes self-publishing. Wait, I'm confused. Pearl Abyss offered PS5 the deal, but then Pearl Abyss declined the offer as it believes self-publishing would be more profitable. The publisher-developer also explained that it chose to use its own in-house engine rather than Ultra Engine 5 so that it could implement much finer details into its world.
Okay, so what probably ended up happening was that they were probably going to have a joint publishing deal between Pearl Abyss and SIE to make sure that it was going to have an exclusivity deal with. So basically what they probably have, the issue that Crimson Desert was having was that they is probably a funding. It's a funding problem. So that's probably the main, those are one of the main reasons why they either go for exclusivity deals is that, with having that exclusivity deal, they get all that funding that comes from doing a deal with PlayStation, is that they get all this money thrown at them. And so they can do more. With that money, they could put more into marketing it more, paying the developers more. And then at the end of the day, everyone kind of makes a little bit more money. It's a little bit more secured money, so to speak. But I think I actually really I like the fact that they went for a self-publishing, because if they believe in their game, it pays off more later. Like that pays off more because they
Yeah,
don't have to pay.
I'm
They
all
don't
for
have
them
to.
self-publishing as well.
Yeah, because they don't end up having to be in bed with PlayStation, because I think they get some of that money as well. Like they get some of that revenue. It's like basically putting your game on Steam. You know, you can publish your game on Steam, and they, you know, but the problem with doing that is that they get a certain percentage because you're putting it on their platform. So I believe PlayStation also has that situation where like you get our funding and you have all these, you know, assets that you can work with, and you know, you can use them however you like. But at the end of the day, we're gonna get paid, and we're gonna take a chunk of that revenue that you're making from your games.
Yeah.
So I think if you don't really think that you can survive without the funding, it's better to do that. But if you believe in your like in your game enough to just be like, we're gonna do this ourselves, screw everybody, we're gonna make our money. Put this game at $49.99. Watch that revenue freaking explode. If Crimson Desert ends up being $49.99 or $59.99, this game is gonna blow up because it's not a $69.99 game. You're not paying anybody for it. Like you're not having to like, because like I'm almost certain that AAA titles are $69.99 because of the fact that they have to pay off the publishing team for like to put them on like the PlayStation Store and do this all this other crap for it. Like I think that if you could self-publish, freaking do it, because it's going to be so much more money, and you don't even have to charge that much for the game to begin with. Like you just don't have to. It's unnecessary. That way like there's it doesn't hurt the pocket as much for people who want to buy the game. They get into it. If the game is great, they're gonna have great reviews. If they have great reviews, it all becomes a cycle. Like it's just like that's what I mean by like, yo, go. It's like if you're gonna go for like a like an actual just an original IP, freaking go for it, dude. And do something like this. This is like a seriously, this is big talk. This is big talk. Going the self-publishing route, like this is some real, that's gangster, bro. Like that's real talk. Like it's not easy to do this on your own. Chris, what's your take on it?
No, I'm actually just watching. I'm listening, but I'm watching. I put on the video ideas, the most exclusive, most recent gameplay we got of Crimson Desert from exclusive footage from IGN from about a month ago. Yeah, this is like an hour-long play footage. This looks a lot better than the footage we saw a couple years ago, and even before that, like 4 or 5 years ago, the initial trailer we got. It doesn't look as choppy. I remember like a lot of the early footage we saw of Crimson Desert was like super, super choppy. But yeah, it's just the graphical fidelity of this game is so high that it's just like, I'm so worried about how, well, I mean, with the release of a PS5 Pro,
PS5 Pro, there we go.
Release of a PS5, oh, you know, that even goes into it being exclusive. That actually makes so much more sense now. Because we don't have an announcement for a new Xbox, right?
No.
We have an announcement for a new PS5 Pro. So making an exclusive deal with Sony that like, hey, we have this super high graphical fidelity game called Crimson Desert, right? You know, and we want it to be exclusive on PS5 Pro because it's such a fucking intense game in terms of graphic requirements.
Oh yeah. Like graphic requirement, it definitely hits like The Witcher 3. It also goes for like Cyberpunk 2077 levels
this would definitely be like
fidelity.
Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, it's just so many. Like I'm just looking at footage. Like I'm exactly like 40 minutes in where there's like actual combat happening. The particle effects are insane. There's so much foliage. There's so much grass, greenery, so many assets, so many textures. But yeah, I mean, this game looks so fun. I mean, it just looks so good. Dude, the when he slashes and then the leaves are flying everywhere, like, dude, that's an insane amount of detail. I mean, that just goes to show that they're making this game in their own engine, you know? But, yeah, an insane amount of graphical detail.
Yeah, so I definitely think that it, as far as like, financially, I think this was the right move for them, for Pearl Abyss. I do think this was the right move for them on that front, because they're going to be able to make more money on the back end, just because of how long the development cycle has been for this game. Like, people have seen videos of it. It was the same thing with Wuchang, bro. Like, I feel like Wuchang was in development hell for so long, and then it finally came out and it was unreal. That game is still in the running for Game of the Year. I don't care what other people think. Like, it definitely is in the conversation as far as the game of the year goes, as you know, as we get closer to November. But I think with a longer development cycle, either hurts you or it benefits you. I think in this route, because the way that I think because they're not doing this exclusivity thing, and they're gonna make it like their own, like they're gonna self-publish. I do think they're going to be on, like, if they're pulling, if they even do remotely any of the numbers that Dragon Ball did, if they're making even $1 million in 24 hours, they won. Like, they did it. Like, I think if they hit $1 million in sales in 24 hours, they made it. Like, I mean, granted, like, that doesn't mean that it's not a success if they don't. I just think that, like, with a game that looks this good and that feels this good, and you know, they're promising a lot, but I mean, this is done in their own engine. Like, this isn't like Unreal Engine 5. This is their own thing, and it looks unbelievable. I do think that they're going to be successful going this route. I do think so.
Yeah.
Like, it's you know, screw PlayStation for this, man. It's like, you know, do your own thing. If you want, if you really believe in your game, freaking take that route and go for it, because it's gonna pay off for not only for you guys, it's gonna pay off for all of your development team as well. I guarantee you, they're not gonna regret you guys taking the self-publishing route in that long run. Hey, and I'm just saying, you know, if you need other people to you know, talk about your game, you know, I mean, we're not, you know, we can have that conversation. I'm just saying, you're self-publishing, you know, holler at your boys. Like, we'll play the game.
Dude, I'll play a game and talk about the game for 24 hours straight.
We'll do it. We'll do it. It's like, trust me, we'll pay. It's like, if you guys got the money and throw us some small, you know, to throw out a small team, holler at your boys, because, you know, we got time. We got time.
So now we're going to be talking about some showcase trailers. Yeah?
Yes. So these were the big showcase. You know, they talked a lot about different things throughout the showcase. We're not gonna do all that because it's, you know, we ain't got all the time in the world. You know, we got games to play and got things to do. But these 3 games were like probably the big ones that really like struck me. First one was, and my most anticipated is Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So let's bring it up. Let's bring it up.
The Ming Dynasty is dead.
Oh, this is done by 505 Games, by the way. And thanks to PlayStation, don't come hunting for me for the video.
My mission is fulfilled. I will not rest until all.
Very atmospheric.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me like Bloodborne vibes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I feel it. I see it.
With just how dark it is.
My will, standing in the way of my redemption.
Ooh, looks nice.
Action RPG, beautiful, bro.
Ooh, yeah, this looks good.
Oh yeah, dude. Parry.
Oh, an assassinate looks like, or like a final hit. God, that's
Definitely
brutal.
gives me like Sekiro vibes also. It's beautiful, dude. Super intense.
Yeah, we basically have another Souls-like. It's definitely another Souls-like.
Definitely in the Sekiro, Bloodborne.
Oh, what is that? Oh, these weapons look crazy.
Oh, are you watching the flamethrower, the machine gun type thing?
God, this looks awesome, bro.
Yeah, dude.
The amount of like
there's definitely a lot of different mechanics.
Mechanics they're showing off. The magic,
you know what
it
kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Neo. Also.
Oh yeah. just that like mythological side of it.
Yeah, with like the wolf, and all that. Yeah, dude. Definitely like
the effects
Neo,
are so
Neo
badass.
2
The magical effects are so good.
Beautiful.
All the particle effects.
Oh, look at these big, humongous bosses too, dude. So cool. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. Great music too. Very atmospheric. I'm a big fan. I like the way the water looks. I'm big on like water. That for me, that's like a big thing. Like if it really like
water fidelity. Water
yeah,
fidelity.
I got. It's gotta look nice, guys. It's gotta look nice.
It's mine.
No, definitely getting big Neo vibes. Yeah, it feels a lot like Neo. Yeah.
This is so badass, bro.
Just the fact that it looks like it could be in the real world, but it's also so mythological, like so based on like Asian mythology. Yeah, yeah, it looks very cool,
bro. That whole thing was crazy.
We had Souls games, now we have Wu games.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, but I'm telling you, it really...
We got Wolong, Wuchang, and now Wuchang. Oh man,
these comments are out of pocket.
No, it's funny.
These guys are, yeah. What is it? Ghost of Yotai, Ballad of Ventura, where Wind Meets, Phantom Blade Zero. Wow, bro. It's like that. It's like we're absolutely stacked with the upcoming Asian games.
Yeah, East Asian games.
Like they're really going in on it. It makes you wonder. I'm like, guys, it's like, listen, I'm very big on the West making games, Western games, Western style games, but like, guys,
just wait for IGN giving this game a 7 when it releases.
If that ends up happening, like what happened with Stellar Blade, I didn't do like as far as like the ratings, they weren't as great as people made it out to be. I'm like, hey yo, this game was really good, guys. I think you're sleeping. It's like y'all guys who do the reviews, is like y'all be sleeping. Be careful, guys. People are gonna come at you in the comments. People are gonna be coming at you. Yeah, this is really good. This I'm really pumped.
I gotta see that
this
machine gun again. That machine gun was so badass. Into the flamethrower. I'm watching that again.
Oh man. But I'm more happy with the fact that it definitely plays more like like Sekiro. Like it's a lot more fast paced. Or it definitely looks more
because
like
Stellar Blade is more like DMC style, right? Like Devil May Cry type of like combo heavy.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a little bit more. I feel like you can come at situations a little bit differently. It's definitely not as like fast paced, in my opinion. I think combat is a little bit more simplified, also in Stellar Blade. I think these fights have the potential to be really drawn out. So, I think in that aspect. It's more of a Souls-like than like an action RPG, as far as like the way it kind of presents itself. But because I think Stellar Blade is more action, like it's more like action adventure, more than it is like a Souls-like. Even though it has like Souls-like mechanics, I don't think it's more like.
Bro, that takedown is brutal. The takedown at a minute in. Is so brutal. Double backstab tears the guy apart.
Double backstab tears apart. Yeah. Well, and what do you think about the locations that they got? Like,
I absolutely love the atmosphere of this game. It looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's just like the floral areas look so rich and vibrant, and then like the dark areas look really fucking gloomy. No, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Even like some of the environments remind me of like the environments in just like the brighter, more sunset type of environments in Ghost of Tsushima. Just like seeing the shrines and the sunset in the back and the trees. It just reminds me of a lot of that too. And then just the actual darkness, like dark atmosphere of this game reminds me just Bloodborne, Neo, Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of the things that we've loved out of the last like 5 years of gaming in terms of like action games.
Yeah. And actually, I really love what they did with lighting. Like talking about like how they use the darkness to like evoke emotion. I also feel like they did a lot with the lighting in this game. Like it makes you feel something. It's emotive. Like it definitely gets you in a type of mood when you're about to face down like hordes of enemies or like a humongous boss. And like it gets you like in a mood. I'm like, bro, or like
even in terms of the storytelling, if you go 2 minutes and like 15 seconds in, when she's fighting this like blue bird type of creature, you can see the light shining on her face, and then in the next scene you can see the light shining through like the silhouette of what I assume is the main antagonist of the series, and it looks all very, very beautiful. Yeah, very well done.
So guys,
the antagonist looks really cool too. Whoever this guy is, his figure looks so cool. The fact that he's like he looks humanoid, but he's freakishly tall, so like you can tell he's like demonic or like a creature or a monster. But it just looks all very good. High hopes for this one, definitely.
High hopes, huge. No release date just yet, but keep your eyes out for this game, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. It'll probably come out next year if anything, but definitely keep your eyes out. This game looks phenomenal. The CGI in this game is nuts. The gameplay looks phenomenal. Great, music, atmosphere, all of it. So the next game, Cronos, The New Dawn. I think the big takeaway with this video was that somebody big did the actual... Already? Yeah.
Okay. I'm 10 seconds in. Yeah. Someone big actually did the what?
The voiceover to the game. Or to this cinematic. Oh, to this reveal trailer.
Creepy.
Okay, so just to give context while you're watching it. So Cronos, The New Dawn is a twisted time travel story set in an unforgiving post-apocalyptic future in 1980s Poland. And this is going to be on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X.
Damn, and I'm already loving like the artistic direction of this. Is so cool.
It's very creepy. It's super creepy. Ooh. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Dead Space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the suit and everything reminds me of Dead Space.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, Dead Space all the way.
Are you a human or are you something else? It doesn't seem like the main guy is like.
I think it could be up to interpretation, considering that you're also in a suit. But I mean, it looks human. It looks like you're fighting humongous hordes of zombies or creatures that look crazy.
Oh, that was Dead Space. That melee attack he just did, the punch. That was straight Dead Space.
Yeah. What in God's creation is that?
I know, right? Damn. Wish we got some gameplay on that, but that was still... Oh, wait, I think there's gameplay at the end? I think there might still be more. Hold on. Again, the artistic direction of this, I kind of love it.
Yeah. I love the way it looks. Okay. Oh, it's in the works. Okay, it's in the works.
Super choppy, yeah. Very much in the works.
Yeah. I was like, just take that into consideration. This is all completely in the works. But still has very much that atmospheric. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely feels, even based off that little bit of footage, definitely feels like a Dead Space game, no? Kind of just like a slow walk, survival horror adventure type of deal.
Yep. So, like that. So this is like basically, it's an extraction mission. I'm just reading through like what was written in the in the description.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically an agent and your mission is to extract like these people that who hadn't survived the apocalypse. So I guess you're extracting the remains, and these things, like as you're extracting them, are attacking you. So it looks very picturesque. Like it's very like it looks very grand. Like the setting of it is very grand. Like it's very dark and dreary. I really want this for like survival horror, for sci-fi survival horror. I really want like how they did the remake of Dead Space. I really want it to be like a sense of helplessness. Like I don't want to be coddled when I play games like this. I want to feel like I don't have a lot of ammo.
Yeah.
All these things are moving very quickly.
Dead Space is
Like,
a scary
split-second
game,
decisions.
not only because of the fact that what you're dealing with and the fact that there's jump scares and stuff, but it's scary because like you're so limited on resources and you always feel alone. Like you're
Yes.
literally quite alone and like dealing with everything by yourself. So that's why it's always kind of like nerve-wracking. That's what makes these games
I'm
good,
sure
though.
there's I'm sure there's going to be somebody in your earpiece talking about where you need to go, things like that. But if there's a lot of like empty space, like where you can really hear every footstep you're taking, like the like a slight like movement of like,
Wait, so there's
like
time
something-
travel involved in this?
I think so. So it's like in 1980s Poland, but I don't know if there's like time, like it says something about like time travel. But I mean, when it comes to these types of games, I have no idea. It's kind of like, in my opinion, it kind of works out like a Souls-like. I don't ask questions. I just assume I'm not gonna know what in God's creation I'm watching. I just assume it's gonna be like, this is like, it is what it is, and be done with it, and then start killing all these like monsters that just come out of the ground and just start attacking you. So, but it definitely plays like Dead Space with the gun, and then the comment you made about like the melee attack. I was like, hey, literally, as you said it, it happened, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so Dead Space.
I'm gonna go back to that part. Because what the gun transforms into like a melee weapon, right? Yeah. And then he goes it's like a
I can hear the thud. I can hear the thud like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. But this is another one. This is another big game to keep your eye out for. Obviously it's still in very early development. So it may not even come out next year. It may come out 2026. Did it say something about the actual date? Oh, it did. Okay, so it is coming out 2025. Don't expect it to be early 2025. I like just watching some of the gameplay footage, like at the very end. Expect it to come out like kind of later in the year, like October.
Yeah, it's just that gameplay
I can see this being like an October
footage
release.
is so shoddy that I think this is late 2025 for sure. Like maybe summer earliest, but even in this like
summer earliest, but
you can see kind of like some shit clipping. Yeah, there's like some clipping issues and shit. It's just early footage. That's all there is. All right, so next up we got Mistfall Hunter. Let me ask you something. Both these games, these are Xbox exclusives?
No, they're not exclusive. This is like
Steam,
a partner
Steam,
preview.
PS5, Xbox Series. Got it.
Yeah, these three came from the partner show preview. That's why when I was like, oh, it's a partner preview, which means that they partnered with these game developers to bring their game to Xbox, which is why like they're not exclusive to PlayStation or to Xbox. Which in my opinion, sorry, I hit my mic. Which in my opinion is probably the best thing they could do. That way you can kind of make as much money as you can. Going for an exclusivity deal, in my opinion, I think you just lose so much money out of it. Like just put your game on freaking everything. Put it on everything, guys. Like I think that's best bet. But okay, so this is Mistfall Hunter. This is the announcement trailer. It's a third-person action PvP PvE extraction RPG.
Whoa,
So-
that was a lot of keywords.
Sorry, I was trying to explain it.
No,
but,
you're good. You're good.
But this game didn't get a lot of talk. But I just wanted to highlight it because it definitely looked like a game that I like because it's Nordic inspired. So I'm huge on that.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the ruins of old, like grave
Also gives me super Elden Ring vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
and magic
Just the
without end.
way their armor looks and stuff. The whole Viking tribal thing. The clothing.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow light.
I have
Like
seen
that.
the hunters
That
awaken,
gave me like Elden Ring vibes. The light coming down from the
Yeah.
and treacherous villains as well.
Okay, gameplay
that
looks,
is got
gameplay
that
looks pretty
gameplay
good.
God of War. God of War. That gameplay God of War.
Gameplay looks pretty good.
I have seen the thrones brought low,
Yeah, so it doesn't look
fates torn asunder.
it doesn't look as active
And
or
all
fast as like
still
the
lives
Wuchang
before
game
the
we just talked about.
They war and
But it does
struggle
look
in
unique. It does look
anguish
kind of cool.
and
Oh, he froze those
despair.
enemies.
No, in my opinion, it definitely reminds me more of the combat in God of War. Like specifically, like well, actually, technically both. Like God of War Ragnarok and God of War, the 2019 God of War. I think it's 2019. I think it reminds me more of that, just because like there's the shield, but you're also playing different classes.
Yeah.
There's,
I like how we're
there's
seeing different classes. There's like a mage, a thief, and like a traditional warrior type class.
warrior, archer as well. Big boss battles, from what it looks like.
But I have yet to see the
I love the Norse mythology idea
eyes
they went with. Definitely one of my tops.
I wonder why this got the dislikes it got. Oh, I have like a dislikes add-on, so I can actually see the dislikes.
Mhm.
Still, it has like, I'd say it's like a 6%, a sixth of the bar dislikes. Yeah, one of the top comments is developer must really like Elden Ring. It just definitely gives Elden Ring vibes. The yellow light, the armor.
When it says PvPvE,
Okay, so yeah, Mistfall Hunter is a third-person PvPvE extraction RPG.
Yes.
What the
It's like,
fuck does
what-
that mean?
I'm trying to understand it. Do you?
So okay, so it looks like so when we go like when they're fighting that boss. When they're fighting that boss 2 minutes in, it's like 2 minutes and 10 seconds in. It definitely looks like they're all fighting the boss together. Yeah.
Is it like Remnant? Is it like Remnant then?
Yeah, they're definitely all fighting the boss together. But then
I have seen the thrones brought
in the rest of the gameplay footage, I think they're fighting against each other. Yeah. Because in the rest of the gameplay footage, like right before that, they're going against people that look like them.
and despair.
Unless they're just like normal NPCs, like normal bots or something. But like if you go 2 minutes
think-
in, it definitely looks like he's fighting like a mage. That's a real person.
That's why that's why I was trying to think. It's like, is it also like it's like, is it like Souls? It's like Dark Souls. You know how like you can like fight the echoes and like you can like people can come into your game and fight you. But is that like a core? But if it's a PvPvE, is it like a core mechanic that somebody can come into your game and just start fighting you, or
Yeah, so the
are you
top
playing with
comment
like
says-
a team?
Top comment says, got excited until I read the description. I assume they're talking about the fact that it's a PvPvE extraction.
Yeah.
Let me look at the replies here. Wow, so glad you said that. Same here. Because of PvP, and you wonder why your PvP games die. Yeah, I mean, I guess there is PvP, and then I guess you meet up together to fight the boss at the end, or it must be two separate modes, no? It must be like a
I
PvP
actually,
mode and then a PvE mode. It's not like it's all in one. Because isn't that just
I
what this new game that came Warhammer is? Warhammer is a PvE, and then you can also do PvP. But is it saying that this is like one round you're against each other, and then you're also against the enemy?
but it's an extraction game. But it's an extraction. So
What's
that's
that like?
why I was like, oh, so it's like I think that's more like Remnant 2, where like you are placed in like they basically it basically puts you in a location or like a level, but in Remnant 2 it's randomly it's I believe it's procedurally generated. So like the actual like level that you're in, you go through it like a specific like you go through it however, and then there's the boss that you fight, but you're playing with other people. So it's a p it's but the thing is that when they said it's PvP, because I get the PvE, like there's NPCs all over the place, they're fighting you. And if you have a team, that brings about like that whole Remnant 2 aspect where like you both are going to the very end, you beat the boss, and then you extract and you go back to like a main hub area. And then like that's like you're basically fighting, getting loot, and then you come back, you fight more, like you go back in, you fight more. It's like that's the gameplay loop. So like you go back, like when you come back to the main hub area, you upgrade your person, and then you go back in, and then you're fighting again, and then you do it, that's the whole cycle. But I don't know if you're fighting the people that you're going in with, or if they're fighting other people that are also playing the game as well. So that's kind of where I kind of got lost.
Yeah, this is a kind of weird one for me, just because I'm not quite understanding what the game is trying to be. But I mean, it looks fun. And in terms of visual style, it's not like super high graphics like that Wuchang game we just saw, or like anything else we've been looking at. But it looks fun. It definitely looks fun, and it doesn't look bad by any means.
So this was probably my most underrated game that came out of that the partner preview.
I can see that.
I mean, yeah, because if you look at the views, they're only 49,000 views. I mean, if you look at the other ones that we watched, they're like in the like almost half a million views. Like they're getting a lot of exposure, but this game didn't really get that kind of exposure. And I just wanted to bring it up just because I'm curious to know what everyone thought about when it comes to like.
One of the comments was hoping this was gonna be like Remnant, but it's just another Tarkov type game. I have not played the Tarkov type. I have not played Tarkov.
Neither have I. And actually, I need to bring that up.
I think we're just not understanding the type of game it is, to be honest, because we probably haven't familiarized ourselves with this type of gameplay before.
But we will bring it up more as time gets closer to like it coming out. I think this is just the announcement trailer, so a lot of things can happen between then and now. They could probably change a lot of different things before it actually releases. They could arguably take it out completely. They're not going to take out Wuchang, or definitely not going to take out Cronos, just because it's already in development and it's already got so much hype behind it already that they probably already have a good sentiment that it's something that people are looking for and asking for. This game didn't do that well, but I did want to flag it because it did look like something that I would be interested in, and probably some people are as well. It's a third-person action game, so and it has like that whole Norse inspired content. So it definitely is something that is in my wheelhouse. I also like games like Remnant 2, but I want to bring it up because it didn't have a lot of hype. It's definitely underrated as far as it's definitely like floating under the radar. So I'm very curious to know what people thought about it as well. And I think with that, Chris, I think I think that's it.
That is today's episode.
Yeah, I think that was plenty of things to talk about. Let us know in the comments what you've been playing this week. Actually, I'm going to jump in on Super Mario Party Jamboree because after what you talked about,
oh, it's so fun.
I haven't played it.
It's so fun.
I haven't played it. So I actually got it to play with my wife. So we're going to play it.
No, please play it. It's so good.
But thank you all for watching. Chris, do you have anything last bit to say?
I will be starting to stream on this channel. I don't have any set days yet on when I will be. Hopefully Tuesdays and Thursdays is what I'm planning to doing. Maybe Saturdays as well. But I'm just going to start by streaming some things that I'm interested in playing. And then whatever we decide to talk about on the actual podcast, I'll decide to play those games as well. You know, whether it be new releases or just some games we're passionate about at the time. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys to start watching. Please leave feedback. We want to hear from you.
Yes, we're always ready to listen to you guys. As always, guys, if you could do us a solid, leaving a like on the video is just pretty much all that you guys need to do. It helps us, it supports us a bunch. And obviously, if you like the content that you see here, consider subscribing and following us, man. And follow us on X. You can follow me at us on X at NFN Normies.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I was trying to say it. NF Normies.
Yeah, I have it here on the bottom right. NF Normies. NF Normies.
Yeah. And if you want to, you can actually go onto the website as well if you're interested in looking at any of the articles that I bring up. I'll be posting a lot more frequently over there as well. Just posting different articles, things that I start seeing, you know, like really hot topics like what we talked about at the beginning of the show. I'll be doing that as well. But until then, guys, this has been Not For Normies. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, have a great rest of your day, guys.
Peace, guys.
Later.